Yes, it has happened, and I still don't believe it. For today's episode, we will be talking about the return of Carlos Queiroz. You know the deal, and you know what time it is. It's time for Team Melli Talk. Yes, believe it. Carlos Queiroz has returned to Team Melli. Hi everyone, welcome back to Team Melli Talk. At this point, I don't know what to say. For the past few months, we heard the rumors that Carlos Queiroz would be coming back to Team Melli, but a lot of us also did not want to believe the rumors. I remember saying that Carlos Queiroz wouldn't want to come back to Iran to deal with all the headaches. And in my previous episode of Team Melli Talk, I even said Carlos Queiroz coming back was not going to happen. Well, I was wrong. He is back, and now let's take a look at what some diehard Team Melli fans have got to say.
Well, I just got the news that Carlos Queiroz is back as Team Melli's coach, and I think that's very good news. I think team chemistry is going to be on point. I think both from the managing side and the players' side, the objective is clear that we're trying to advance to round of 16 for the first time. And yeah, I think this is the right move, and I'm very excited, so good to see him back.
All I want to say is welcome back to Team Melli, Carlos Queiroz. You know, we've been dreaming, we've been wanting you to come back for a very long time, and it's official today. Finally, we look like a team that can fight for a round of 16 spot at the World Cup. And Carlos Queiroz has great tactics. You know, he's very defensive. We may have not played the best football in the past with him, but hey, defense wins you games. A good offense is a good defense, and we need to stick to that.
Welcome back, Carlos Queiroz, to the Iranian national team. Our Lord and Savior has returned to Team Melli, and I'm so excited to see him back. He brings in so much coaching experience on the biggest stage, and this is going to be his third World Cup coaching Iran. He has so much coaching pedigree, and compared to the other coaches in this group, we have to be optimistic now with Carlos Queiroz at the helm to see Iran finally break the duck and make it to the round of 16 in a World Cup.
I'm very happy that Carlos Queiroz came back to the national team of Iran. I'm sure that we will do very well under his helm, and I'm looking forward to the World Cup in Qatar, and I wish us the best of luck.
Hey guys, Arya aka 29 United here, and I just wanted to say I am very, very excited to see Carlos Queiroz back to the Iranian national team. It's an honor to see him back. Hopefully in the next few months to come, the team will be able to come back together and show us the Team Melli that we know and love.
Welcome back, King Queiroz, to the national team of Iran. We are so happy to have you back. I have to say, for me personally, as a big fan of yours, you coming back to the national team was one of my happiest days as a football fan ever. And honestly, in my life, one of my favorite all-time moments. So I am so excited to have you back. I know that there's tens of millions of fans who are also so happy to have you back. We can't wait to see you do big things as you've always done when you're with Iran. We know you love Iran. We know you're going to put your heart, your soul, your mind, your energy, your blood, your sweat, your tears, everything that you have into this. So so excited to see you do the big things that you always have done. And welcome back again.
Thank you everyone for your contributions. I'm sure Carlos Queiroz appreciates your kind words. Next, let's look back at Carlos Queiroz's recent coaching stints with Colombia and Egypt. Carlos Queiroz started off well with Colombia in the 2019 Copa America before being eliminated by Chile in the quarterfinals on penalties. World Cup qualifying also started well for Carlos Queiroz and Colombia, but a 3-0 loss at home to Uruguay and a shocking 6-1 thrashing at the hands of Ecuador were the last straws for Carlos Queiroz. Queiroz's stint with Egypt was better as the Pharaohs finished second in the Africa Cup of Nations, only to be defeated by Senegal in the final match on penalties. Queiroz almost got Egypt to the 2022 World Cup, but once again, Senegal was the thorn in his side as Egypt was beaten yet again on penalties. Looking back at some other numbers, Carlos Queiroz had 60 wins, 27 draws, and 13 losses as head coach of Iran. His last match in charge of Team Melli was a 3-0 loss to Japan in the semifinals of the 2019 Asian Cup. It wasn't the way that Carlos Queiroz wanted to go out. and now it appears that he is back with something to prove. But before elaborating further, let's take a look at a different point of view about Carlos Queiroz from one of our Team Melli Talk analysts.
Hello everyone, I hope everyone is good, fine. I just would like to talk about today's decision, or like recently decision regarding Carlos Queiroz is coming back to Iran to be a coach. I just don't want to take a lot of time, but in a very short period. I mean, the selection of Taj as a boss of Federation Football of Iran is really strange decision after a sudden. And after a sudden, he came and he selected Carlos Queiroz to come back to Iran and to be coach of the Iranian national team. You know, Carlos Queiroz is all the time, I mean, I don't want to say was a bad coach or good coach, but his aim or idea all the time is to play really defensive football, which is no one nowadays like to play in such a game. To have 11 or 9 players in a bus, such as in a bus as a defender, just to pay attention to, like, I don't know, sudden attack or whatever. This is not the strategy or plan which we have. During my visit World Cup 2018 in Russia, many people were repeating the same thing, that we don't play nice and lovely football. Not anymore people like this kind of football, and no one plays this kind of football. We played with Morocco and we were inside the stadium and we did not play football. And every single person knows about it. And I reviewed that match over and over to see the highlights of all these things. How Morocco nicely was playing. The nice things. I'm not against our team. We shot a sudden goal, accident goal, but we should not depend on accident actions and goals. So he was the coach of Egypt and he had the same strategy. And that's why he was kicked out from the Egyptian national team also. On which basis, on which tools, on which decision. So he came back to Iran in this specific period of time that no team is going to change their coach. Carlos Queiroz used to be coach of Iran, and when he left Iran, he was very angry and sad, and many issues, don't want to go back behind it. And after a sudden, he came to Iran. He mentioned before he will never come to Iran. It was not good decision. It was toward him to kick out of the national team. And after a sudden, he came to the Iran within a 2-month period of the World Cup. Thus, where he watching all the time Iranian leagues to see who is good, who is not good for the team. Is he be able to do in 2 months, within 2 months, to select the best players? Of course, some people will say bad or good. I don't want to go about a specific person or decision. But I mean, this time and this period, which no team is going to change their coach, keeping them for the World Cup, and all decision would be after the World Cup, and everything in Iran is going upside down.
Thank you to Maher Sharifi for sharing his insight about Carlos Queiroz. And I'll be honest, I agree with some of the points that were presented by Maher Sharifi. And I've said it before that Iran was obviously very defensive while playing under Carlos Queiroz, and I've also said that I would really like to see Iran score goals against the run of play. Now let's take a look back at the goals that were scored by Iran at the 2018 World Cup. First, against Morocco, it was an own goal off a free kick, and then of course, Karim Ansari-Fard scored from the penalty spot against Portugal. But of course, we also cannot forget that Mehdi Taremi came close to scoring against Spain and against Portugal. Another point brought up by Maher was the fact that he questioned what Carlos Queiroz has been doing since he left the Egyptian national team. Has he been watching the Iranian Pro League? Has he been scouting Iranian footballers? When did he first learn that he was going to return as head coach of Iran? Yes, these are good questions. But I think it's fair to say that we won't see a lot of surprise call-ups from Carlos Queiroz. We can expect him to call up a majority of footballers who played for Iran at the 2018 World Cup and the 2019 Asian Cup. I expect him to call up players that he's very familiar with, and I also expect him to exclude players that he doesn't get along with. To finish off this edition of Team Melli Talk, I would like to thank Dragan Skocic, Mario Tot, Karim Balgari, Vahid Hashemian, and the rest of the coaching staff for all the hard work they put in and for helping Iran qualify to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. I'm being honest when I say this. I really wanted to see Dragan Skocic on the sidelines for Iran at the 2022 World Cup. He came to Team Melli when times were tough, and he succeeded in helping Iran get to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. But because he lost the locker room, I can't be surprised that a change was made. And now my message to the head coach of the national team of Iran. Welcome back, Mr. Queiroz. I never expected that you would be back. And after you left Iran in 2019, I only had positive things to say about you because of the happiness you brought to all the Iranian people. Best of luck to you. We know the 2022 World Cup is going to be tough, but we know that you will be ready, and we know that Team Melli will be ready. And that's it, everybody, for this edition of Team Melli Talk. As always, really do appreciate the support. Make sure you get to our website, www.teammelitalk.com. Remember, this is your best source for the latest news on Team Melli, the national team of Iran. Make sure you find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You know the handle, at Team Melli Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification button. See you on the next edition of Team Melli Talk.